Hi, it's Susan again. Back to talk a little bit more about Pixie Spray and Deco Foil Metallix Gel. I just purchased the black ice. I didn't have this one. And at first my original thought was to buy it and then use it for over-the-hill birthday cards, like for the 40 and the 50 and the 60. I wanted to use it for that, but then I thought graduation, because we keep getting graduation invitations in the mail. About the time we think we don't have any graduations this year, we get invitations and they're rolling in, and I need quite a few now. So I had the idea to use this black on poppy seed, and it makes kind of an elegant background. So I wanted to show you how I made it. First thing is, instead of putting adhesive down on my scratch paper this time, like I've done in the past, I sprayed the back of my cardstock with the Pixie spray. And then you spray it, you let it set for a minute, that's what it says on the bottle. And then I adhere it down to scratch paper because, like I've said before, that way you can just throw this out instead of having to clean something up. So this is poppy seed cardstock from Tailored Expressions, and then I'm going to use the Tailored Expressions stencil. It's called Scattered Stars. Put it in my little box that I use for spraying. Sprayed it. I did that before the video, and then it's been sitting for about 2 minutes, so it's nice and tacky on the back. Lay it on my cardstock, and this Pixie spray is just an amazing product. It really helps to keep the stencil stuck down so that none of this gets in underneath your stencil and, you know, makes a smudge on your cardstock. The other thing is, with having that Pixie spray behind my card base here, when I go to pull the stencil up, it's going to keep everything from shifting. A lot of times if you find a smudge on your base that you're working with, it's normally because when you peel up the stencil, either the cardstock or the stencil shifts and smears your product that's on your cardstock. So I just think it's great for that. So I'm going to use some of this black ice, scoop some of it out, and like I've said before in the past, I like to put my product all down and then come back and scrape up the excess. So I put this down, and then I will go back through and scrape. So I like to just get it on there and then go back and scrape just so I can start hearing the top of that stencil and just starting to see it. That is about perfect for getting my product all pulled up. So and then I like to scrape the excess back into my jar, put my lid on, and then I will clean up my spatula right away, but also the stencil. When I peel this up, and look at that, it didn't smear, it didn't push back on the product at all. I will take this into a bucket of water, let that sit until I can get it all cleaned up. And same way with my spatula, I'll take a baby wipe. I like having these around, one for my hand and 2 for the stencil, but clean that up. I really love this spatula. I know there's other gadgets out there, but I just really like this. I like this edge, I like how thin it is. And being as it's what I started with when I started doing stencils and stuff, it just seems to be what works for me. So whatever works for you, but this is what works for me. And then I also like to take and scrape underneath my cardstock a little bit. That helps break off any of that product that might be hanging between the cardstock and my scratch piece of paper. And that's not enough really to save. So, you know, my spatula, and I will set this aside to dry. And I did one already, that's already dry, and that's the one I'm going to work with. I did this just like an hour and a half ago, and it's dry already. So that is my background piece, and I used the Tailored Expressions Eventful Graduation die. This die is really cool because it doesn't actually cut the width of your cardstock. It only cuts, you know, just down to the bottom of these people here. This whole piece, so you can adjust and decide how big or thin you want this strip to be. This one I just did Hooray, and the one that I already did, I did a little bit wider, and I did Congratulations. The big thing is to make sure when you lay this die down before you cut it and tape it onto your paper, you use a ruler or something to make sure your spacing between your die and the edge of your cardstock is lined up so that your graduates are all lined up in a straight line. So, and this Congrats on Your Graduation is an old an old Tailored Expressions stamp set called Eventful Graduations. And I love these. I've never used the invited ones, but I sure like the congratulations on your graduation and the hooray. So I already cut that out with the die. And then I used a little bit of Versamark and the Tailored Expressions silver embossing powder to put my sentiment on there. So that is that. And then what I did to get this graduate, I took this idea from the Tailored Expressions website. Someone had done this on a card sample, and I thought it was really cool. They took and cut out one of the graduates in another color cardstock, and this one I used silver, and I'll use that plus a little bit of adhesive. I love the Nuvo adhesive. I haven't had this stuff clog at all yet. I really like it. And it's really forgiving, and when it dries, it dries. It's not temporary, it's not tacky, it's just dry, and that's what I really like about it. So glue that on there, and that's how I added that silver to that piece. Then this I will take and adhere it to some cherry pop cardstock. I use cherry pop just because the graduate that I know this is getting, this one, the school colors are red and black. So you could pick your card base to be whatever matches the school colors. And then the last thing, I will take some of the Nuvo glue again and adhere it all down. You could pop this up too, but if you're gonna mail it flat, might be nice too. Adhere that down. And again, I used the black ice, and that's how I made that card. I hope you check out the Metallix gel, and I hope you have a great day. Thanks for thumbs upping if you like this video and for subscribing. Have a great day.